I'm here at this McDonald's, and because I'm not wearing a face mask, the guy asked me if I had a face mask. Okay, again, I'll make sure I have this recorded because rule number 1 on the North Carolina thing by the governor, no, rule number 1 of the ordinance says that if you have a medical problem, you do not have to wear a mask. I have a medical problem. You can't force me. So you're going to call the police on me for it. So what is your name, sir?
My name is Archer.
No, come here. So come here. I want to make sure I know your full name. So you're going to call the police on me for not wearing a mask when I have a medical problem. Okay, this is McDonald's. I have a medical problem. You want to call the police. All right, I'll talk to you later. Calling the police on somebody because of order 1 that says you don't have to wear a mask if you have medical problems. Calling police on people. Forget it. Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Today, I want to discuss a topic about the mask wearing. Recently, I just was in McDonald's while traveling, and I got the law called on me for not wearing a mask, not wearing one of these fabric masks because I can't breathe. I have been diagnosed a long time ago from about having borderline asthma, and I have a deviated septum, which makes it harder for me to breathe and catch my breath. This does prevent me when I am walking and talking and stuff like that, and it takes me a little bit longer to catch my breath. It's affected me in sports and things in the past, and also I snore really bad at night, apparently, from my other half. And would probably need that seat mask or whatever on me. But the biggest problem is I can't breathe with one of these masks on. It's not just a political statement, folks, that I cannot breathe with these masks on. As I stated, the law mask police was called on me because due to a breathing issue, I was unable to just put on the damn mask at a local McDonald's. Somebody saying wear a scarf. Any clothing that goes over your face like that prevents you from being able to breathe. We've already talked about that multiple times. People talked about that. The statement I gave is I just left the Old Fort McDonald's where Archer almost physically assaulted me and called the law on me just because I did not wear a mask. Is this what America is coming to? Those of you who wish to fight back against tyranny and corporate virtual signaling, feel free to voice your concerns to the store and McDonald's corporate. Their address, and I'll put it in the comments, is 548 at Cave Road, Old Fort, North Carolina, 28762. Their number is 1-828-668-9531. I did not expect this to happen, so I did not catch the initial encounter. I entered the store and no one was inside. The counter was plastic, had the plastic up, the social distance shielding. He said, "I'll be right with you," while he put down a broom. And mind you, he did not wash his hands afterwards. Before he would even take my order, he asked me if I had a mask. I told him I do not, as I am unable to wear due to my breathing issues with borderline asthmatic issues, which I do not have to tell him that what my medical conditions are. He said he was too. He had asthma too. And they require him to wear a mask. When actually, if you look up the rule, no employer can force an employee, if they have medical conditions, to wear these masks. And they won't get in trouble. Now, as I had, he said he had them. Well, he told me to get out of his store, that they can't serve people without masks in the store. And he refused to listen to the exception. Now, I told him under the mask mandate, I was under the first exception for medical reasons. He then yelled over me and told me to wear a mask or get the hell out of his store. I again said the law states I am under the exception. He then got louder, and I asked for his name, and he said Archer. Said mumbled something else. I walked away to get off the phone, which I was on the phone with someone at the time, and to record. Before that, he come around the corner and got within 1 foot of me and loudly pointed to the door and yelled, "Get the hell out. I'm calling the police." Other employees didn't say anything to me, but they came to calm him down. I said, "I'll be calling corporate." He then said he was calling the police. I went outside, turned on my camera to document this, and this is the recording that I'll have. I have recording talking to the police afterwards, and this is the information I'm going to put in the podcast right now. It's time to hashtag and go right for America. For those who say McDonald's is not good for you, I just wanted to get a sweet tea. It was 95 degrees. Sweet tea there at McDonald's is pretty good, and it's only like $1 most places. That's all I wanted. Just a sweet tea. Serve me a sweet tea. Let me get out of the store. Let me go. So I'll be back after this video. It's about 13 minutes. It'll show you everything that's happened, and I'll give you a commentary, and I'll close out this podcast. But I just wanted to let everybody know we have to stand up. We have to stand up for this. All right. Let me share my screen, and I'll be right back. I'm here at this McDonald's, and I went inside to order something, and the guy immediately asked me if I had a mask, and I told him no, I don't have a mask because I have medical issues. I can't breathe. Okay, again, I'll make sure I have this recorded because rule number 1 on the North Carolina thing by the governor, no, rule number 1 of the ordinance says that if you have a medical problem, you do not have to wear a mask. I have a medical problem. You can't force me. So you're going to call the police on me for it. So what is your name, sir?
My name is Archer.
No, come here. So come here. I want to make sure I know your full name. So you're going to call the police on me for not wearing a mask when I have a medical problem. Okay, this is McDonald's. I have a medical problem. You want to call the police. All right, I'll talk to you later. Calling the police on somebody because of order 1 that says you don't have to wear a mask if you have medical problems. Calling police on people. Forget it. I have borderline asthma, which I don't have to disclose what my medical reasons. Order number 1 in North Carolina by the governor says that if you have a medical condition, they cannot force you. They cannot force you to wear a mask inside the store. He told me I had to go through the drive-through and got very verbal and threatened to call the law and to call the police on me because I wouldn't leave his store unless I wore a mask. They've got plastic up. They've got everything that they need, and I'm doing my social distancing. But I'm not able to wear a mask all 24/7. And this Archer individual here at this location basically called the police on me, got verbal with me, and called the police. This is very unfair to go to a restaurant and try to order and be forced to wear a face mask, even though the order says that you don't have to.
Now, I guess it's their company policy from what it sounds like. Let me take this off. I don't think it's on. But so what it sounds like, it's their company policy. So they have the right to refuse service if they don't want to serve you if you're not wearing a mask. So it's their policy right now saying that serve anybody that got to wear a mask unless you're going to the drive-thru. So I'm sure he's more welcome to
not with that kind of business.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're gonna start yelling at me for wearing a mask and not understanding. He was right off the bat yelling at me and telling me he was gonna call the police and threaten the police. I will be calling McDonald's corporate and making a complaint because
that's fine.
They need to follow the governor's ordinance. The governor's ordinance, I completely understand masks, but if you've got a medical thing, you know, I've got borderline asthma. I can't breathe most of the time. Most of the time I can put a mask and not cover that. What's the point?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I get you. No, I get what you're saying. Like I said, seems like it was just a simple misunderstanding of the little mask situation. I know you're probably upset. They're upset, but
yeah. This guy's literally got in my face, and I thought he was going to punch me.
Who was
the black guy named Archer? I mean, first he asked me if I have a mask, and I was like, no, I don't have a mask. I have a medical problem. Well, I have a medical problem, too, but you're going to have to get out.
Right.
You're going to have to go through the drive-thru. Like he just started right away just being...
Right. Sounds like he was a little rude.
Yeah, I mean, rudeness is rudeness. He didn't quote policy or anything. He just was straight up rude to me.
Right. That's fine. Like I said, if you don't want to go back over the year, that's fine. If you want to contact the corporate, that's fine. I mean, you obviously, you got the right to do that. Like I said, he can legally not serve you because, it's a company policy right now.
The company policy needs to abide by the actual law, too.
I get it.
You know, the law states, number one, the medical reason. They have no business to ask me what that is.
Right. Well, and they don't, but they can, like I said, they can legally refuse to serve you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can ask you to leave, and that's what they did. You left. There's no issue there.
Okay.
So, you have your ID on you? I just want ID.
Yeah.
Just since I was out with you, say I spoke with you, and they were rude to you, and you left when you were on well-being, and I'll be on my way, and you can go on your way. I guess you're going to go to Hardee's now or Subway one?
I don't know.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, Subway makes
I just passed through here. I tried to get a nice sweet tea.
That's fine. Hardee's, I don't know about that, but I know Subway in town here makes you wear a mask as well. They ask you to wear a mask. If not, they're not going to serve you.
Yeah, I mean, I do delivery, and I don't get ever asked, and complained about it.
Small town, man. People are wondering, Let me double check this.
All righty.
I know you're hot.
So I'm here waiting right now. Talked to the officer. He basically said they have the right to refuse service. It's the Old Fort police. Just doing some driving. And went to this McDonald's, like I said, walked into McDonald's. The guy asked me if I had a mask. I was like, no, I have medical issues. He said, well, I have medical issues too, but you're gonna have to get out and go through the drive-thru. He was extremely rude to me from the beginning. He wasn't even nice. He went straight to being nasty. His name is Archer. I don't know who he is, manager-wise. Other people had to come up to him because he was getting frustrated and stuff. And they're saying it's misunderstanding. They have corporate policy. But honestly, the rule of law states in the ordinance that if you have a medical problem, then you're not required to wear a mask. So regardless of policy or not, I will be calling the corporate office of McDonald's and letting them know what's going on. And I will also probably post this video to Twitter as well, and at McDonald's with it. I'm not one to start stuff, but this is just very irritating to have this happen to me. It's hot out here. Like I said, I have borderline asthma. Diagnosed a long time ago. I don't have papers or anything like that, but I have to be careful, and I'm not able to walk around with those masks on 24/7 and breathe. That's the reason why. And I got no air conditioning in my car. I try to go inside an air conditioned place to order food just to get out of the sun for a little bit. Now I got to stand in the sun for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All right, we'll just wait for the police officer to be done.
Sorry about that. It was a little slow.
No problem.
Yeah, you good, man. Like I said, they got the right to refuse service if they don't want to say you're not wearing a mask. It's their company policy. So, I mean, I get that wearing a mask.
Sounds like it's more his personal policy because the other people had to calm him down.
Yeah, he was.
He should have a policy where he shouldn't yell at customers like that.
I'll go back and talk to him.
Because I wasn't mean to him. All I said is, look, I order one, and he wouldn't even listen. I was like, order one says medical. You shouldn't be refusing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna if you're gonna make it a company policy, you got to understand the rules why you made the policy.
I get that.
There's nobody else in the store, and I'm way back here.
Yeah, I'm sure his corporate will understand your side of it. So I'll go back and speak to him. Tell him he's nice to his customers, obviously, and you go on and have a better day.
Yeah.
Okay? Hopefully, you get some sweet tea somewhere.
I'll find something. Thank you.
Like I said, there's a Hardee's and Subway and there's a Dairy Queen.
Is something on this road?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go down there. Thank you. I'm going to go in Hardee's now and see if they'll serve me. As the officers say, I go down the street and see if they'll serve me. Probably much better food anyway.
How are you?
Howdy. Let's see here. Y'all have any specials or anything going on?
I don't think we do right now.
Steak burger. Something simple. Mr. Burger, big Mario burger, big cheeseburger. Yeah, that'll work. The number, number 8. Large sweet tea.
Will that be all for you?
That's it.
9:37.
All right. That work. Thank you. Thank y'all for being so much nicer. I just went into McDonald's and they were extremely rude.
Oh, well.
I went in there, you know, I can't wear a regular mask because I have borderline asthma, and the guy just started yelling at me and told me to get the hell out of the store and called the police on me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've got 2 corporates to call. One McDonald's and then call y'all and tell them how nice y'all are here. Like social distance, I'm all for it, but it's hot. I just went into Hardee's, which is right down the street, as suggested by the officer. I walked in there, noticed that, you know, they were in there. They were very friendly to me. They didn't bat an eye. They didn't make a judgment on me about my mask. I even told her, and she was like, oh my, that's just not a way to treat people. So I will be contacting the corporate of McDonald's to complain, but I'll also be calling the corporate of Hardee's to say this has been a great location and how they treat their customers so much better. So there's a big difference between McDonald's and Hardee's. So I'm leaving here, didn't have to wear my mask in the store. You know, it's a suggestion, people. It's not a mandatory law, you know, but giving me, well, you know, store can refuse service. No, that's just one individual went a little too far. He's behind a plastic shield. I don't have COVID, and there's nothing for him to worry about. It's crazy. It's crazy what these people do. They're just mad because they got to wear a mask. And like he said, he's got asthma, and they force him to wear a mask. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So corporate policy at McDonald's, you got to change. You can't make your medically dependent people, wear masks when they have asthma. That just makes no sense. And then your customers, yeah, that's not the way to do it. I'll be making sure this goes viral. Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. First of all, the Nazis had a phrase which covered by all abuses by the state. And I'm sure I'll get it wrong because I don't speak German, thank God. Für Steinerheit. I'm sure I chopped that up. Translates to briefly, it's for your safety. It's for your safety. Now, the law mask police was called on me because due to my breathing problems, I was unable to just put on the damn mask at a local McDonald's. I didn't just put on the mask because I ran into this issue. And I'll get right to it. Okay, again, I'm make sure I have this recorded because rule number 1 on the North Carolina thing by the governor, no, rule number 1 of the ordinance says that if you have a medical problem, you do not have to wear a mask. I have a medical problem. You can't force me. So you're going to call the police on me for. So what is your name, sir?
My name is Archer.
No, come here. So come here. I want to make sure I know your full name. So you're going to call the police on me for not wearing a mask when I have a medical problem. Okay, this is McDonald's. I have a medical problem. You want to call the police. All right, I'll talk to you later. Calling the police on somebody because of Order 1 that says you don't have to wear a mask if you have medical problems. Calling police on people. Forget it. So, it's just a mask. It's just a mask. Just a little piece of fabric. It's just a vaccine. Now, in 4 months, the U.S. transformed into an obedient socialist country. Government dictated what events are acceptable to attend. Violent protests that install fear are okay, but church services, family funerals, and patriotic celebrations are dangerous. And you bought it without a fight. Standing in a graduation line is a safety hazard. Small businesses were forced to close, but crowds to support the corporate money machine at Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot are okay. Come on. It's just a mask and safety precautions. How about a little hush money? How about a little hush money? Here's $2,400 that we stole out of your paycheck in the first place. Enjoy. Buy something with it. From a big corporation. Cash is dirty. We can't give change. There's a coin shortage. Use your card. So in 4 months, they convinced you to use a traceable card for everything. In less than 4 months, government closed public schools, then restructured education under the guise of, quote, public safety. In less than 4 months, our government demonstrated how easily people assimilate to guidelines, that they have no scientific premise wherever when you are fearful. I just interviewed a doctor who's also a senator who questioned the guidelines for death certificates. I've seen videos where anybody who had COVID in their system and died, even if you jumped off a building, you died of COVID disease. Here now it's 95-something degrees outside, 100-something degrees outside. People are sitting in lines for 8 hours in their own car wearing masks in the hot sun to get a COVID test. But in less than 4 months, our government successfully instilled fear, the media as well, and a majority of the population in America that allows them to control every aspect of your life, including what you can eat, where you can go, who you can see, and even your toilet paper. I know someone who says that Walmart had no shortage of toilet paper, but they weren't allowed to put it out, but just a little at a time. You know what the most dangerous and terrifying part of this is? People are not afraid of the government who removed their freedom. They're afraid of their neighbors, their families, and their friends. That's why it's called, Karens. And they hate those who won't comply. I have fellow Republicans who are arguing the fact, well, I didn't just go through the drive-thru. Now, it's absolutely terrifying to me that so many people don't question authority. They're willing to surrender their critical thinking skills and independence, and they just gave up without thinking, without a fight. Do you know what's coming next? It's just a vaccine. Come on. It's for the greater good. Wait until you're told that you can't enter any store or business without proof of the COVID-19 vaccine. Wait until you can't go to public events or get on a plane without proof of receiving the vaccine. To everyone that doesn't believe this is possible, do you understand that government successfully dictated to people when they were allowed to be outside, where they were allowed to go, and how their children would be educated in less than 4 months? And that a majority of the population followed blindly because they were told to do so. You're kidding yourself. If you think this behavior won't be repeated with a vaccine or whatever the next step is, you can quote, "I don't follow politics. Who cares about this stuff? I don't like to think about it." They got you. Without a thought. Without a fight. Just like in France. Just like in Russia. Just like in China. Welcome, comrade. Now that's been posted. Unknown. It's good information. Now my commentary. Masks are political. They're also a discussion everyone is having. Ironically, the left has been saying my body, my choice over the abortion issue. Yet when the right applies this to vaccines and now mask wearing, we're told to shut up and do it. It's for your own good. Now, just what are the laws on wearing masks? Can a business refuse you service? Let's look at that. Now, what are the constitutional right to refuse service? According to the Federal Civil Rights of 1964, no business serving the public, even if it's privately owned, can discriminate because of a customer's natural origin, religion, color, or race. I think jury might be still out on the sexual orientation. I think that's been changed now, thank God. But the American with Disabilities Act provides and prevents a business's right to refuse service based on a customer's disability. Not being able to breathe because of this mask. Not being able to breathe. That's a disability. So, jury will be out. Did they violate the law? Now, as numerous jurisdictions now mandate citizens to wear face masks in public, many retailers have begun requiring customers to cover their faces as a safety measure to mitigate against the spread of COVID-19. Among employees and fellow customers, retailers intending to enforce a policy whereby it will turn away customers who refuse to wear face masks should be mindful of abiding by Title III of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, which governs retail stores as a place of public accommodations. Now, some would argue that they have allowed alternative ways to order, such as curbside and drive-through, but I would have to argue that going into an empty air-conditioned store to order quickly rather than sit in a long drive-through in the heat to get an order is an inconvenience that someone with a medical condition / disability should not have to go through. Note that many who do DoorDash, Uber Eats, etc., who have similar medical issues are forced to go inside to pick up orders, and they are told they're not able to get their order through the drive-thru. Now, I know it's a long comparison. People would say you can't compare the civil rights of black individuals or women's rights or gays to just the mask, but it is a civil right. If you have a disability, if you can't breathe, I mean, weren't people just chanting hashtag I can't breathe? Well, let's do a little history lesson. I lived in Greensboro, and the Woolworths there, the lunch counter. It was a symbol of black rights and blacks saying that they were not going to be treated like second-class citizens. They were not going to be told that they had to just go to the back door and get served outside and get treated and drink at different water fountains than whites. People walked up to the counter and they sat down and said they should get served. The same counter as all the other white people should get served at. And a lot of people would just easily say, maybe some of the people today that tell me just go through a drive-through, they've paid accommodations for you. Who had probably said back then, those were the same people that would have said, just go out back. Why fight? Why fight on this? Just go out back. We've made accommodations for you. Those black individuals said, hell no. We deserve to be served here at this counter. Women did not have the right to vote. They marched the streets. They argued. They couldn't have the same things that other people did. And they eventually got their civil rights when it would just been easier to just say, just go stay in the kitchen. You don't need to work. It's much easier for you. Let the men decide everything. Gays, throughout history, were forced to hide in the back, stay in the closet, not be proud of who they are, not let people know who they are, be called all sorts of names and condemned. And many are still done today. But with Stonewall and other rights, we fought hard to get our rights. I find it mighty weird that a gay black man at a McDonald's told this white gay man that he was not allowed to be served inside of a store because I refused to wear a piece of cloth over my mouth because I have a difficulty breathing, and that they just go through the drive-thru. Just go through the drive-thru. Mighty ironic. Mighty ironic. Now, on the other side of things, if you do not have a disability or medical condition and you just think masks are bad for your health, unneeded and nothing but a virtue signal, you have to remind others why you refuse to wear one. To those that tell you to just put on a damn mask, you must remind them that when they see a non-mask wearer as disease spreading, defiant imbeciles, when in reality they are fighting for the last remnants of your freedom. You didn't know you were just going to lose. Remember, it all starts with the government saying, stay home. And you stay home. Then the government says, close your business. You close your business. Then for 6 million Jews in Nazi Germany, it was the government that says, get in boxcar. And you get in the boxcar. And you die. America was built on individual rights and freedoms from a government that is corrupt and full of tyranny. We refuse to pay taxes on tea and sugar from England without representation. We refused. We began the Boston Tea Party, and we quite literally began a revolution of sorts that led to the creation of America. Basically over a fight of taxation without representation. A fight over paying taxes. And many probably back then would have just said, just shut up and pay your taxes. So many people today tell us to just put on that damn mask and not let us conservatives die on that hill over the mask issue. And for many of us that understand just what forcing masks and other mandates on us lead to. And we see this as our revolution. The question is, are you going to go right for America? Are you going to put us on a path to making America great again? And we're meaning thus the normal days pre-COVID. Or are you just going to sit back and say this is the new normal and watch the left take over? And as Joe Biden says, transform America. Well, I would say you're just as willing to comply. And you're just as bad as the left. And you should stay back 12 feet. Because I don't want to catch your disease. So I'm going to ask you, are you going to stand up for your rights? Are you going to stand up for my rights and your rights? Are you going to be a true conservative? Are you going to conserve America? Or are you just going to keep sitting down and let the left win and kick and punch us and kill us? Because I know where I stand. I know where I stand. Do you? Do you?
Billions and 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 billions. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
So, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Please share this. Make sure this goes viral. And if you'd like to support us, you can show your support at paypal.me/MAGAFirstNews. Join the Patreon at patreon.com/Peter Boykin, and you can support our calls and our podcast. God bless you. Thank you. Peace.